What's up, traders? This is Vee Trades, and today we'll be doing a technical analysis breakdown for MSTR. I will first be going over what I see in the daily chart and finish the video off with the weekly chart. This video is for entertainment purposes only. Please trade at your own risk. So MSTR finally bouncing today. We'll see if this will lead to higher prices. We're definitely overextended from the EMA, which is right around $223 if we were to go up there in a short amount of time. So I think a pullback is due, especially with Bitcoin bouncing now. It probably will help this Bitcoin treasury company move up higher. So yeah, looks like we're bouncing. I think we can expect to see higher prices from here. Is this the absolute bottom? It's unlikely. It's almost impossible to say right now. We need to see aggressive buying develop. If we see an impulse like we did back over here, then that can mark a bottom. So you'd want to see price do something like this, just completely move up higher a tremendous amount. So that's what you'd want to see to confirm a bottom. Maybe not as high, at least get back above the 250s, the 260s. But until then, this is still a downtrend. The measurement target has not been met yet at 143, 144. This is just a pullback in a downtrend. So we could pull back all the way up to about, the 200s, low 200s, even the 230s, 240s, and then still work our way down. So overall, this is still bearish territory, even if we were to see a huge move up higher all the way up to the 200s. So still bearish territory because prior support can turn into new resistance, and then we can continue lower. Measurement target has not been met, and then price is looking to be inside of this macro downtrend, right? So we're making significant lower highs and significant lower lows. So clearly a downtrend in play. And yes, it could be volatile. We could see a huge rally up, maybe back up to 300s. We can come all the way back up to the 368. But seeing a new all-time high, that's a very, very low probability with what the data is presented to me as of right now. It's a very low probability for us to see a new all-time high. Can we see a decent sized rally? Yeah, it's not out of the question. We can even see a move up higher all the way to about, the 380s. If Bitcoin really starts taking off, it might help MSTR. But overall, still, bearish, right? I think we can expect lower prices even after this pullback. And then we'll go from there. Let's take a look at the weekly chart. As you can see here, the weekly chart, pretty much 7 red weeks in a row. And like I said before, I've said it multiple times before in my other videos, after 7, we can expect maybe a green week. I think this will probably be a green week. There's something to do with the number 7 in the market. We had 7 red candles. Typically, you don't see 8 or 9. Typically, you'll see it, at least a green candle after that. Maybe it's just like so much selling where, we have to see a bounce. So yeah, we're definitely seeing a bounce. I can see higher prices, low 200s, maybe even the 230s. But is this the absolute bottom? It's just too early to call that. It's impossible, right? No one knows if that's the absolute bottom or not. So we'll see what happens. But MSTR definitely bouncing, expecting higher prices, and that's giving it the benefit of the doubt. Sometimes you might even see just a price roll over back to the low side if it can't even bounce out of here. So we'll see what happens. But MSTR, pushing up higher. Bitcoin, I drew this macro channel for it. So Bitcoin, I drew it off the swing lows and it matches off the high. So you take this low, you connect it to this low, the absolute, shallowest you can go without invalidating the channel is this line. And then it really matches the highs really nicely. See, we got a touch there, there, and then almost there. So works really good. The midline is acting really well too. So overall, it looks like the trend is still trending, right? This is why I'm more bullish on Bitcoin than MSTR. This is clearly an uptrend. And then look at this chart. This is clearly a downtrend, right? We're making significant lower highs and lower lows. We're making higher highs, higher lows, and we have not invalidated this prior low yet. So that's why I'm saying the trend is still trending, right? It's still trending up. Higher highs, higher lows. What do you think is going to happen next? So Bitcoin in a much better position than MSTR. I'm expecting this to move up higher back to at least the EMA, a 95,000. And, I think we can get a new all-time high for Bitcoin. MSTR, there's a very high probability no. But Bitcoin, yes. Why? Because let's just measure this drop. From the all-time high to current low is right around 46 bars. You guys see that? It's 46 bars. I'm going to clone this, and I'm going to move it 46 bars over again. So from this low to 46 bars later, where does that take us? I'll put a vertical line. That takes us to January 6th. So that's about 46 bars, 46 days, 46 trading days. And we have dropped from the all-time high to current price. So from all-time high to current price, that's about $37,000 we have dropped from $126,000 to $89,000. That's $37,000. That is less than $1,000 per day on average. So Bitcoin can just average $1,000 per day and make a new all-time high very close to the end of the year. So hopefully that makes sense. We drop that amount in 46 days. If we were to go up 46 days from now, that would take us to about January 6th. And if we were to just average $1,000 per day, we can get a new all-time high by the end of the year. So some days you might see $500, some days you might be break even, some days you might see a $5,000 candle, some days you might see a $2,500 candle, some days you might see a negative $2,000 candle. But if you just average it out to $1,000 every day, for the next 46 days, we can see a new all-time high. I mean, today is almost $2,500, right? It's $2,250, and I don't think it's going to stop here. So, this is still not off the table. And if I was a market maker, that's probably what I would be trying to do, right? I want to trap both the bulls and the bears. So the way they would do it is trick everyone thinking that this is the all-time high, and we're going to start a new bear market, have a bunch of shorts pile in, take a bunch of shorts, take a bunch of shorts, take a bunch of shorts, and have their stop losses piled up, piled up, piled up. And then at the same time, I'm knocking out all the bulls right here. All the bulls that bought this entire year, even back all the way till April, May, right around $80,000, $90,000. I kind of knocked them out because I came back to their break-even price. So you see that came right back to pretty much where this entire move started. If you draw a horizontal line, it takes you right back to where that move up started. So I'm taking out the bulls. I'm taking out the bears. I'm having the bears pile in. And then I might start ripping it higher, right? I might start ripping it higher. Having the bulls jump back into the trade who are stopped out, and having the bears cover themselves or buy back to get out of the short. So, it would really mess and trap, both sides of the market if we do see that move up higher. And if I was a market maker, that's what I would do. And then maybe get a new all-time high sometime next year. And then everyone thinks we're never going to have a bear market. And then you finally have a bear market, right? Something like this. Most likely. Let's see if we play out something like this. Maybe another pump up and then a move down lower. So this looks pretty accurate, maybe to about $50,000. So something like this is expected to play out. Maybe we don't see that much of a drop. Maybe we don't even see that much of an impulse, but we'll see what happens. Bitcoin bouncing off of a potential low, overextended, is due for a move up higher. All-time highs are definitely not off the table. I think MSTR will have a very difficult time, and I think Bitcoin won't have a very difficult time. I think, it can do it, right? We're already kind of breaking this really steep channel, as you can see here. That's a good sign. Just want to see continued buying from here. So overall, this could be a low. This could be a bottom. This definitely looks like it. It's a technical area. Unlike this area is kind of, a little random. I mean, you could definitely look at the other side. Historical price of MSTR, it is near the range highs, the breakout, but this one is actually in an uptrend. So let's take a look at the Bitcoin volatility index, and you can see that it is moving up higher, right? That's exactly priming this commodity to see a nice, very large move up higher in a short amount of time, right? The volatility is going up. It would be a different story if the volatility was dead or going down and expecting price to go up a large amount. It's probably not going to happen, right? But with the volatility climbing while Bitcoin bottoming out, or looks to be bottoming out, I mean, this thing can go, like I said before, if we just copy from high to current price, high to low, and then you just mirror that over, or you flip it, just as quickly as we went down is as quickly as we can go up. And that takes you a new right back to the all-time high by January 6th, which is not that far away. So we could definitely still see that take place. And probably if it comes up at that price once again, most likely it's going to break it by a large amount. So again, I'm hyping up Bitcoin, and I could be all wrong, and we can just see a crash down to about $40,000. It's very simple to say. If this was all-time high, wait a year, and you expect about a 60-70% drop. 68% drop to about $40,000, right? You can be about, November, December of 2026, maybe even October, November, December of 2026, about 67% correction from the all-time high to the low, about $40,000. That seems about right? It's very reasonable to assume that. But if we have not topped, which I don't think we have as of right now, we could see a new all-time high. So volatility increasing, good sign. This is gold's price divided by Bitcoin's price. It looks like it's had a climactic top, right? An exponential move, a blow off top. It looks very overextended, right, to the upside. At the same time, we have not invalidated this measurement target, right? We have a huge leg down right here. Second leg down. This one shows a huge move down towards about 0.02197. So if gold just price stays the same, Bitcoin would need to get to about $180,000, $170,000 to get to this ratio. So are we going to see a huge outperformance very shortly against gold? Possibly. This looks very overextended, right? Nothing moves in a straight line in the market. And then Bitcoin's price divided by MSTR's price. Bitcoin losing some ground against MSTR, but still a very exponential trend is in play. So it kind of makes sense where Bitcoin might outperform MSTR, and it has been, but it might continue to do that as traders take longs in Bitcoin, but shorts in MSTR. It's not guaranteed to be both bullish, right? Someone can be short MSTR but long Bitcoin. That's just how the market works. It's not designed to make sense. It's what is happening in the moment, right? What's happening in the moment is a downtrend for MSTR. What's happening in the moment for Bitcoin is an uptrend for Bitcoin, right? So we have a downtrend for MSTR, uptrend for Bitcoin. Traders might start looking for shorts for MSTR. Traders might start looking for longs for Bitcoin. So that's what this chart tells me. I could be wrong, and I'm open to invalidation. I don't ever have a guarantee or a 100% prediction with these things, but it looks like it wants to continue to drive up higher while gold continue to lose ground against Bitcoin, while the volatility for Bitcoin is going up, while Bitcoin is bouncing off a technical level and has plenty of room to the upside, while MSTR is pulling back, but approaching a level that it might not be able to exceed, at the 230s. So we'll see what happens. That's all I have today. This is Vee Trades. Thank you for your time.